Hello guys, my name is Tiana. I'm a founder of Tiana Corti Creative Agency, and today we will be talking about plastic and harm of plastic. And we have Flavian and Divana who will be telling us a little bit more about their brand and how you can become more sustainable as a brand.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting us. And so this is Divana from Inviso Company, and this is Flavian. We are the co-founder of Inviso Company and found this one, Inviso Bag. So this Inviso Bag is actually water soluble, biodegradable, and compostable. Why we invented this, or like why we created Inviso Bag, is actually, I think back to 2018. We were still working as an employee for another company. In a weekend, we started hiking. But unfortunately, in all those beautiful mountains in Hong Kong, we found a lot of trash.
There's a lot of trash. Yeah.
Exactly. You found plastic bottles, plastic bags, a lot of food packaging that just left over on the mountain. No one take care of it. It's not going to be recycled. It's not going to biodegrade. So at that time, we started to think, okay, for such a long time, we want to start our own business. If we start our own business, it has to be related to protecting the nature. So at that time, it triggered us like, okay, we need to provide a solution to brands that you could have a better packaging, an alternative to replace plastic. So by 2020 February, we launched our company. Unfortunately, there is a pandemic happen, but
Unlucky.
yeah, unluckily, but in a way, it's also an opportunity for people to aware of the plastic consumption, especially during the pandemic. People do food delivery, like what we are wearing, the mask right now. So people start to have the conscious and look at like, okay, what we have to do today to replace the plastic packaging or try our best to reduce it.
I have a question. So maybe some of you don't know. I hope maybe of you know, but why is actually plastic harmful? Why is that?
I think we can't deny the fact that plastic has been in the industry for over 50 or 60 years. It is very mature in the industry, and look at what we are wearing and using in our daily life. Simple as such, every day you will use your phone. It's plastic, computers, everything. Like
equipment.
Exactly. And even clothing, what we have been wearing as a clothing, you will have polyester for sportswear. We can't avoid it, but what makes it harmful is the afterlife. It's also people, how do they end up the packaging? You shouldn't trash it on the mountain. You should just do it correctly, recycle it, or trash it in a proper way.
So I read that only 9% of plastic in the world actually gets recycled, and it's not like a glass. It cannot be recycled completely. It's never recycled completely, and it's so difficult to recycle plastic because there's so many different kinds of it, and then that most of it goes into landfill anyway. And then I read that it takes about 400 to 1,000 years for it to decompose. And it's not only decomposing, but it's also leaking like harmful chemicals in the land and water, which is this sounds horrible, absolutely horrible.
Oh, it creates anxiety, in fact, when you realize that the daily life is making trash, even though you do it from a good intention. But the waste management system is in place, but not for the full capacity of the consumption of what we have on our daily life. You're right, only 9%, and even those 9%, they are not necessarily fully processed because there is contamination from other material. What lies in there is the fact that we need to educate the consumer on how they should technically segregate correctly different type of plastic, and be sure that infrastructure or countries have the resources for that. But I think it's beyond this. We need to make sure that as a human being, should I buy 10 bottles of water for daily consumption? Or should I just get tap water or filtration water? Because 10 bottles a day for one person at the end of the year is a large amount. And I think this is at that junction of time that we need to be sure that plastic can be used properly, but we need to educate the people.
Yeah, I read some bloggers who are completely avoiding plastic, but it sounds to me like such a hard work, because she even make her own shampoos, her own food, because she doesn't want to buy cosmetics in the packaging, which is plastic. So honestly, I think it's too hard for us to avoid plastic completely. It's almost impossible, right? Who has the time to make your own shampoo or to make your own cream? So that's why I think the idea which you have is more realistic approach to the problem, that when the material itself is not harmful and not that harmful, but it still has the same qualities or similar qualities to plastic, that it's better in a way.
Exactly what you say is like, in our daily life we try our best to live a zero plastic lifestyle, but in fact, as you said, it's difficult to avoid plastic. It's hard to be like not even a plastic packaging in your daily life. So that's why we were thinking like, okay, for example, fashion industry, from the time that you manufacture the clothing and then deliver to a client's warehouse and then deliver the products to the final user, you have to get a, for example, mailer bag, you have to protect the clothing. But from that point of view, how are you going to avoid plastic? So it's not like we say no to plastic for every single thing. I think we need to rethink the process, like how are we going to reduce it?
Step by step, just small steps can lead to something, right? Could you tell me a little bit more about your products, what material you use, why is it different from plastic?
For sure.
You can see, so this is two type of bags. We forgot one of the other application that we have for the mailers. But this material, so it's made of a component that is polyvinyl alcohol, starch, and glycerin. The polyvinyl alcohol is a material that has been engineered by two German scientists 100 years ago. And this is a water-soluble, compostable, and biodegradable synthetic polymer, meaning that...
Can I touch?
Meaning that if you expose this one to microorganisms, it would over time degrade. And if you expose it to hot water, it would dissolve immediately.
Oh, wow. But what happens if you drink it?
Well, you're not going to die, obviously, because this is said to be non-toxic, but if you excess drinking, it's not going to be good necessarily.
But it's not toxic in general.
No, in general, it's non-toxic.
That's amazing.
One of the material is used, as I said, for the capsules of some of the medicine. This is for pharmaceutical primary use. After we obviously diverted the use of that capsule to a film application, but originally this is also for the pharmaceutical industry considered as non-toxic and safe.
Wow. And you can also use it in fashion industries. I can see that it's a t-shirt inside.
Perfect replacement for polybag for the fashion industry. So let's say you're a consumer and you buy something online and you receive these t-shirts. At home, you have an option right now. You can dissolve this bag, which you can't do with a regular plastic. And you can also compost it. So with Invisible Bag, we are trying to educate the consumer that for the first time ever, they can be part of the solution instead of being just the guilty member of saying, oh, I'm consuming and I don't know what should I do with the plastic industry. Now you can dissolve it or you can compost it. So
and I think that I know that this kind of technologies at the moment will be more expensive for brands compared to regular plastic, but I think there's so many fashion brands and so many cosmetic brands, and I also work with many different clients from the fashion industry. And for them, it's also important to stand out, right? To be different from what is it different about your brand, right? So I think for them it could be a good PR as well if they are more sustainable brand compared to their competitors, right?
I think, for example, we work with different fashion brands or even skincare brands. It's hard to remove all the plastic in their product line, but they're trying their best to move towards sustainability by a certain time, for example, 2030. And packaging where the customer will receive it with the products make a lot of changes. When a customer receives the products, most of the time, comparing to a conventional plastic, you just, okay, I receive a product. This is my clothing, so I wear it, and the plastic, I would just trash it.
Yeah.
But now, if they are going to receive the product and they know, oh, this is water soluble, so it's easy. I just have to dissolve it in hot water in a couple of minutes, and from a solid form become a liquid form, and just put down the drain. And this is how we want to make a change. Is for brands, is also bringing the education and awareness to the consumers that now I have the power to make a change and also reduce my negative impact to the environment.
What other products you can make? For example, a bag. Can you make something like hard products, or a box, or what other products do you have?
There is obviously evolution potential for the material, but they are at the current stage more like experimental. That technology applies very well on the application for film, but when it comes to solid form, as we say, like a phone case or something like this, we still are behind the technology or the efficiency that brings it to mass consumption. So that's not something that we're going to be able to do shortly, but we are looking for innovation ways to make this approach of afterlife packaging more sustainable and more responsible. It could be dissolvable, it could be compostable or biodegradable, but we act towards finding solution for a product that would make your life normal, I would say, but the afterlife will be less responsible on the environment.
Thank you very much for your interview. Please let us know how we can find you online.
For sure. So if you want to know more about our Invisible Bag and Invisible Company, you can Google it and search www.invisible-company.com. But also don't forget to follow us on Instagram. You can search Invisible Company _.
Starting March 2022, Tiana Koci Creative Agency will be connecting businesses and sustainability professionals to help you change the way you do your business and become more sustainable and eco-friendly brand.